The restaurant was bustling with life, the clatter of cutlery and soft hum of conversations creating a familiar symphony. But in a quiet corner, a wealthy couple sat rigid, panic etched across their faces as they watched their newborn baby refuse every attempt at feeding. The boy's tiny body trembled with hunger, his fragile cries barely audible beneath the restaurant's noise. No formula, no milk, nothing would calm him. Doctors had warned that if he didn't eat soon, his life could be in danger. The room felt suffocating, as if the air itself carried the weight of impending tragedy. In that moment, a waitress moved through the tables with a serene calmness, her eyes soft but piercing, noticing the desperation radiating from the wealthy parents. This was not just another table to serve, it was a life hanging by a thread. If you believe in kindness, miracles, and second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soulful Stories. Stories like this remind us that compassion can come from the most unexpected places. The waitress, a young woman in her late 20s named Layla, had been working at the restaurant for years, quietly observing life in all its joy and sorrow. Her own journey had been far from easy, raising a baby as a single mother, struggling to make ends meet, often wondering if she would ever get a break. But she carried a quiet strength and an unwavering sense of empathy that drew people to her. When she saw the millionaire couple's child turning pale, refusing to feed despite their frantic efforts, she felt a surge of instinctive compassion. She approached cautiously, kneeling beside the parents, her voice gentle and calm, reassuring them she might have a solution. The couple was hesitant at first. They had the world at their disposal, doctors, nurses, and the best medical care money could buy, but their child was rejecting everything. Seeing someone from the restaurant offer to help with her breast milk seemed almost absurd. And yet, in that moment, there was no one else. The child's tiny fists twitched, his cries weak, and the parents realized they had no choice. They agreed, desperation outweighing hesitation. Layla, with her heart pounding, prepared to feed the baby. She had done this many times for her own child, but now, under the watchful eyes of strangers, she felt an overwhelming weight on her shoulders. The moment the baby latched on, a miracle seemed to unfold. His cries softened, and for the first time that day, he relaxed against someone's chest. Tears welled up in the eyes of the parents, tears of fear, relief, and profound gratitude. Layla continued patiently, her presence radiating warmth and safety. Each sip of milk brought life back into the frail body, a tangible heartbeat of hope in the otherwise tense room. The restaurant staff watched silently, moved by a scene that transcended social status or money. In that instant, everyone realized that compassion often comes from those we least expect. Hours passed as Layla stayed with the baby, ensuring he was stable, comfortable, and full. The parents, who had once been rigid and proud, now sat with their heads bowed, silently thanking the woman who had saved their son's life. They could have thrown money at every problem, summoned private nurses, and bought any remedy, but it was an act of raw human kindness that had worked when nothing else could. In the quiet aftermath, the restaurant's clamor faded, leaving a lingering sense of awe. As days turned into weeks, the bond between the parents and Layla grew, not in the way of friendship but in a deep, unspoken respect and gratitude. The baby thrived, his health steadily improving, and the couple made a commitment to ensure Layla would never face hardship again. They helped her secure a better job, provided support for her child, and offered her a chance to build a life she had always dreamed of. In a world often dominated by wealth and pride, it was a humble waitress who reminded everyone that love, compassion, and selflessness could save lives in ways money never could. The story of that day spread quietly among the restaurant staff, reaching customers who had witnessed it. Many reflected on the idea that sometimes, the smallest acts of courage, an offer to help, a willingness to step into someone else's fear, can ripple out and change lives forever. Layla continued her work, her spirit unbroken, her heart open, carrying the quiet knowledge that she had been a lifeline for a child who might otherwise have been lost. And the parents, once strangers with a life of luxury, now carried a lesson in humility and gratitude that no wealth could ever replace. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of compassion, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder of humanity's goodness. Let the world see that true wealth lies in kindness, not in money. Before the story ends, I have a special request. Comment below with the word miracle if you believe a single act of love can change someone's life forever. Your thoughts could inspire someone today. Life is unpredictable, often cruel, and sometimes hopeless. But that day in the restaurant, a tiny act of courage, a heartbeat of selfless love, brought a child back from the edge and changed lives in ways that money alone could never achieve. Layla's quiet strength and willingness to act reminded everyone present, and now, everyone hearing this story, that kindness is a force more powerful than any challenge. In a world that often values wealth and status above all else, it was a waitress's heart that became a lifeline, proving that miracles can happen when humanity rises above fear and pride.